What's up, guys? I'm gonna take you shopping today for some juicing supplies. I'm gonna take you to a couple stores I go to get some good quality cheap produce. First, we're at BJ's Wholesale Club, which is where I get my apples, my crap ton of apples. Usually I get 88 pounds or a little bit more. I get some celery here, some carrots. Can you guys guess what I'm drinking? You know what I'm drinking. I'm drinking juice. I'm always drinking juice. It's apple juice. I was going to do all apple juice. My man back there, Cal, is drinking some orange juice. He loves that orange juice. I was going to do all apple juice this week, but apple juice is really strong by itself. So I'm going to be adding in some more green drinks, a couple of green drinks and a couple carrot apple gingers to kind of switch it up. So I'm going to take you into BJ's. I'm going to show you what I get. Show you what produce I get here, and then we're gonna go to Aldi's and we're gonna get a few things there. All right, let's go. What's that? That's pretty cool. It smells funny over here, huh? So guys, originally I had gotten half Gala, half Red Delicious, but I actually caught the produce guy. I couldn't find him before, and he's keeping cases of Gala apples with me for the back, because I told him I've been juicing, so he's been keeping a case or two for me in the back. So I actually now have two cases of Gala apples. So these are eight 5-pound bags in a case, and they usually run about 5.5 pounds each. So let's see what else I got. Also got a bag of kale. This is for my green drinks. This should hopefully last me about 8 drinks. So if I do 2 drinks a day, about 4 drinks. Got a bag of lemons. I already have a bag of lemons at home, so I usually use half to 1 lemon per green drink. We got a bag of celery sticks. I think this is 4 something, but I use 4 celery sticks in each green drink, so hopefully this will last me about 4 days or so. And if I run out, I run out before I get more. It's fine. I mean, I could just have some apples or some carrots. And then I got a 5-pound bag of carrots. This is $4. This is a really good deal. These are organic carrots as well. The organic carrots seem to be cheaper than the regular carrots. So I'm glad I got the Galas. I mean, I wouldn't mind. I've done the Red Delicious before. They're not bad, but you know what I mean? What do you think, bud?
Yeah.
Yes. Just got the Aldi's. Gonna get some cucumbers and some ginger, maybe some mango, right, bud? Sounds good. 75-cent cucumbers. Gonna grab a bunch of these. $1.99 for 8 ounces of ginger. Probably grab about two of these. Kind of heavy, bud. That's it. Aldi's all done. BJ's all done. Now we're headed home, and then later I'm gonna make a video of how I prepare everything. I wash everything, cut everything, and then we'll make a juicing video. We'll do a little bit of time lapse, and I'll show you guys how I do my juicing. See you later. What's up, guys? Back at home a little while later after we went to Aldi's and BJ's, got some produce for the juice. I got about 90 to 96 pounds of apples, depending. I think a few fell out at the store. I noticed there was a few apples and then I sprinkled out in the box after I took all the bags. So we got all the produce. I ended up spending about $110 for about hopefully 5 days. Some stuff's only 4 days. Now I've been spending a little more on my budget than I would like. It's hard, man. It's just a bad time of year to juice, but I'm getting sick of doing just apples. It's a little tough on me, so I'm springing for a few green drinks. I'm doing 2 green drinks, and I'm gonna be doing 2 carrot apple gingers, which I made in my previous video as well. But I wanted to show you guys the whole process in this video. So I got the big thing of kale. This was about $2.50. This is pretty cheap. This should hopefully last me at least 4 days for the kale. I got this big thing of celery here. This is like $4.29. That's not bad because I'm only going to be using 4 stalks per drink. So hopefully that'll last me about 4 days. And then after I run out of these green drinks, I'm probably going to switch to 1 green drink a day and 2 carrot apple gingers and 3 apples. Because that's a kind of a good balance I found. Got some more lemons. I think this is about $2.79 for 2 pounds of lemons. I already have a bag of lemons as well. So I got plenty of lemons. And I got this 5-pound bag of organic carrots for $3.99. So this is a really good deal. So carrots are one of the cheapest things to add to your juices. It takes a lot of carrots to make a liter of juice, guys. It takes me like I think it takes like 4 or 5 pounds of just carrots if you're gonna make carrot juice. So I only use a few just for the taste. You really don't need much. So I'm gonna get started here. I'm gonna show you guys how I prep everything and clean everything. I got my washing pot. This is my washing pot here. Got my prep station over here, my prep bowl. And then this is my juicing station over here. You see that? With the Nama J2 there. And we got some bowls. I got my straining bowl here. So I'll try to get some better views for you guys, and I'll throw in some commentary this time. Last time I tried to do commentary on the original version of that video, but the editor got all messed up and I had to use a different one. So I kind of like the music on the last one though. I don't know. What do you guys think of that? If you saw that one. This one's going to be very similar in the juices I'm making, but I'm going to try to get some better shots for you. How I'm cutting things, how I'm prepping things, how I'm putting stuff in the juicer. Just if you're new to this and you're not, you want to get as much information as possible. And I'll try to add some commentary and kind of comment on how I'm doing certain things and all that good stuff. All right, so let's get started. I'm gonna go get the apples and then I'm gonna wash them, and then we're gonna prep and we're gonna get started. All right, guys. All right, so let's get started. We're gonna wash the apples first. Just putting them in this giant container. There's my veggie wash. That's what I use to wash my fruit. Just got that on Amazon. Now I just fill up the container with water, kind of like cold to warm. If you put it too cold, it's gonna freeze your hand. It's gonna be difficult. So, all right, now we're chopping up the celery. I'm wicked fast at chopping, as you can see. I really haven't been using that much celery in my green drinks, And so yeah, now we're gonna wash it using the same fruit wash before. And I know on my apples, I've been having a lot of white residue still on my apples after I wash them. So I've been actually changed to washing them by hand. I just like douse each one individually and put them in a big bowl, and then I wash them pretty good. And I would suggest using a brush too on your apples. Or if you're going to use them in a big container, I'd probably just need more of that veggie wash, and you really need to scrub them good, because you don't want any of that white residue crap, that wax or whatever on there when you're juicing. So just peeling all the cucumbers and the carrots, this is my prep bowl I'm making. This is my prep for, I put pretty much everything in one bowl and just kind of divvy up between the juices. Maybe easier for you to have different containers for each juice if you're not good at kind of splitting everything up, which I did initially. But yeah, again, I don't use that many carrots in my carrot apple gingers. I use a carrot and a half, so I have 3 carrots. I could use more. I could use a little more. I mean, sure, it depends on your budget. It depends on what you want to spend, really, and the taste. I mean, I think just having 1.5 carrot with some ginger when the rest of apple is really good. And the carrot apple ginger is delicious. One of my favorite drinks. It tastes like creamsicle. All right, doing up the carrots. I love the carrot apple gingers. Are good. And I also got some turmeric. I keep forgetting not to put it in. I have some of that in the freezer. I have a big bag of turmeric root in my freezer. I forget to put that in my my carrot apple gingers. You could probably put it in the mean greens too if you wanted to. It might make a little orange. But when I was making lemon ginger blast, I was putting them in there as well. See right here, I mean, this gets most of the stuff off. But I would really recommend using a fruit brush, as well as maybe probably putting in a little more solution than I did in the bucket. I really like this method of cleaning. It's definitely a lot faster. But again, you really gotta, after you're done cleaning them, take a good look at your apples and see if there's any more residue on there that you can get off. You really want to make sure you get all that stuff off if you can, even though I'm sure I've drank quite a bit of it. All right, prep's all done now. So that's my prepping station, as you saw there. Just keep it simple. I got the prepping bowl. I got the strainer if you need to wash anything. And now we're gonna I'll show you the juicing station. So here's the juicing station I've set up. I got my 2 bowls of apples. Now I definitely got shorted some apples in one of my bags. That's okay. Well, we should still have enough juice. We got my straining bowl. Got a nice fine mesh strainer. And it's important to have it right next to a sink as well, because I rinse the strainer out between straining juices because it gets kind of foamy and nasty. Then we got my cutting board and my knife, you know what I mean? And then we have all my jars lined up. I got 7 jars, and if I have more if I need to get more for whatever reason. This is my prep bowl. So I'm going to start with the carrots and the carrot ginger. I'll split that up into two drinks, and then the rest is for 2 drinks as well. Got my kale, and then we got the juicer here. We got the juice cup, and we got the discard pulp cup. All right, so let's get started. All right, let's get started. This is my whole prepping station. Everything's set up. Opening the kale. Got my prep ingredients, and we start cutting the apples. Now I cut the apples in half, then I cut them in each half in thirds, and I manually take out the seeds. The reason I do this is because you just get more juice from the apples if you don't decore them. I have tried coring them, and you actually lose a substantial amount of juice if you take out the whole core. It is a little time consuming to take out all the seeds with the knife, I'm not gonna lie, but you know what I mean. I just it's part of the process, so I don't let it bother me. You just gotta this is for your health. You're doing it, for your health and for your good, and to clean yourself out. So I'm not too worried about it. If you're doing apples, I mean, you can core them if you want. And again, if cost is not an object to you, and you don't mind losing a bunch of juice by taking the cores out, then go ahead. So yeah, my carrot apple gingers, I just load the hopper or the nama up with apples, then put in my 1.5 carrots and ginger. Start it up. That's the first half of the juice. The second half of the juice is just all apples for the rest of it, and that makes it taste really good, and makes it taste like carrot apple ginger, and surprisingly, it's not too appley, even only with 1.5 carrots. So that's my 2 juices I usually do first. That or the green drinks. So yep, and now we're and then the good thing about the nama is you can kind of keep working as it's juicing. So even though my juice is filled, you can start juicing the next batch while that's full. Then I put it in my strainer, let that strain for a minute while I keep cutting apples. You're basically just cutting apples if you're using apples. Keep juicing at the same time, so you can multitask. That's what's great about this. When my old juicer, my Omega juicer, I couldn't do this, so I had to keep feeding it. So it would take considerably longer. So I mean, you can just keep going. You can keep that thing juicing. Make sure to always check your disposal bin, because I've had that overfilled when I wasn't paying attention. I'm just dumping the juice in there after it's strained. First juice down, second juice almost done. You have to clean out. I really suggest being near a sink when you're doing this, because you're gonna have to clean your strainer out quite a bit, or else the juice isn't really gonna strain very well. Oh, here we go. I'm helping Doris bring in some groceries real quick. Sometimes you gotta take a break from juicing. All right, we got the second juice. All right, now we're doing the green drinks. I do a big handful of kale. I do 1 cucumber, about 4 smaller stalks of celery, half to a whole lemon, and 1 inch of ginger. That's usually the first round. Maybe I'll put a little bit of apple in there, and then I've been putting 3 to 4 apples in for the remainder. Now, if I put 3 apples, I have a little bit of room left in the jar, and then I'll just fill it up with a little bit of water. But if I do 4 apples, that's usually about 32 ounces for me. So I've been doing about 4 apples. And then if I have to put a little bit of water, I put a little water. I'm rinsing the strainer out there so I can make more juice. So we got 2 carrot apple gingers down. We got a little extra carrot apple ginger because I put too many apples in there. That's all right. I'll just put that in with one of my apple drinks. I have no problem with that. But I don't mix juices really. Like, I'm not going to mix a green juice and carrot. If there's extra, I'll kind of divvy them up. But I mean, if that's all that's left, I'll mix them. It doesn't really matter. See, you can see the green juice. There's not much there because I think I used 3 apples this time. But I've been using 4 to kind of fill up the remainder a little better. I mean, again, if you want to put water in a third of it, you can. It's fine. Another thing I do is put in cayenne pepper in my green drinks. The ground cayenne pepper, like the spices kind. You can put a habanero. You can put, I mean, if you're doing lemon ginger blast, they put habaneros in there, and the peppers are really good for opening up, your blood vessels, getting oxygen in there, and just they're real good for you. So I'm almost through the first bowl here, banging out my second juice, and it depends how long this takes me. Really, I mean, it could take me,
half an hour to 45 minutes. Sometimes it takes me an hour. It just depends what's going on and what juice and how prepared I am and how much in the flow I am. You know what I mean? Just picking out all those apple seeds. I have a cool cutting board with a little rim on the edge of it. I can just kind of store the apple seeds until I kind of scrape them off into the bin. So now this is my last green juice I'm making right here, and then we're gonna switch to apple. So again, always make sure you're looking down when you're cutting and paying attention, even though there's probably a lot of distractions around you. Like my son's playing behind me, he's playing some Play-Doh, because you don't want to cut yourself. I've almost cut myself many times just because the knife like slips off the apple. So definitely pay attention close when you're doing anything. Keep your hands out of the way. It's very important. You don't want to have to stop juicing because you cut your finger off. And just like when I cut the tip of my finger off using a freaking spiralizer, because I wasn't paying attention, doing zoodles. I do look forward to eating some zoodles again when I'm done with this. Currently finishing I usually have a juice going as well, drinking while I'm working. Or sometimes, I'll make a juice if I need, if I'm short one, and just drink the first juice. That's cool too. A lot of people like to drink fresh juices and make them throughout the day. I mean, I feel like that's more work, because then you got to keep going back to the juicer. I like to do it all at once. Yes, it's a little better, obviously, nutrition retaining wise, to so I'm putting some of the apple on that carrot, the extra carrot I got. So I have kind of like a half carrot apple ginger, half apple. What happens too with the Nama too, when you're doing just apples, is the skins get caught up in the presser down there. So I kind of have to reverse it and kind of maybe manually pick out some of the skins. It's not a big deal. You'll hear it kind of like squeaking though, make some funny noises, just because you're only doing one thing, just doing apples or whatever, apples and carrots. So now I'm trying to clean up my cutting board a little bit, getting some of the seeds out of there. But yeah, getting there, almost done making the rest of the apples. Gonna end up with some extra juices for sure. Cal's back there playing some Play-Doh. Doris next to his big house. Yeah, just keep going with the flow, you know what I mean? Keep loading the hopper, keep paying attention. It's, if you can multitask, great. If, I did try cutting all the apples first and then juicing, but it definitely takes longer, because you're just going to be sitting there waiting for the juice with nothing to do, really, you know what I mean? Otherwise, you can be cutting apples and pouring juice while you're juicing. I mean, you're not always necessarily doing it all at the same time, but you can kind of do a little bit more at the same time if you're prepping while you're juicing. It's up to you, really. If you want to prep everything first, then, you know what I mean, don't mind doing that. That's fine too, really. But again, I found I just like kind of doing it all at the same time, just going with the flow, you know what I mean? I'm getting a little clogged up again here. Got to reverse the juicer and get some of that gunk out of there. There we go. All better. Finishing up the last juices here. Cleaning up the station. It doesn't take me too long to clean up. Usually, sometimes I'll clean up separately. I'll just kind of do like a partial cleanup, and then I'll wash everything later. It takes a few minutes to wash the juicer, and I wash all my bowls. I have quite a few bowls I use for the apples and the juice and whatnot and the prep stuff. So you go, doing a little bit of cleanup. The last juice going. Got a little bit of extra juice. Sometimes I end up with half a juice. That's all right. I don't really care about filling it up. I'll just have a half extra juice and I'll drink that at some point.
All right, guys. Ended up with quite a bit of juice. Let's see, we got 2 carrot apple gingers. We got 2 mean greens. Got 3 apples. And we got about another half. So 3.5 apples. So we got 2, 4, 6, 7.5 juices. 6, 7, which is good because I needed an extra one for today anyway. So that's it, guys. That's the whole process from store to jar. You saw me go to the store, go to BJ's, go to Aldi's, get some produce. Came home, we prepped it, we washed it, we cut it. I showed you my station, how everything was set up. If you guys have any questions, let me know. If you want to see anything else in another video, let me know. I can show you anything. Anything you want to see? You want to see some different recipes? You want to see some up close and personal juice? You want to see that juice trickle out of the juicer, the Nama J2? My juicer was getting a little clogged up there with just the apples, with the apple skins, but it's not a big deal because I just have to reverse it and kind of clean it out a little bit. That happens sometimes if you're just doing one thing, especially apples. But hey, thanks for watching, guys. Stay juicy.